Yo, what's up, everybody? I got my friend Chad here. This the 3811 podcast. See, I'm messing up already.
Hey, we good.
I
We all
told you I was a
good, brother.
rookie at this. Yeah, man. So, it's good to have you here.
Thank you, sir.
My first guest.
There we
To
go.
put that stamp on it. If it becomes big, you just can be like, yo, I was the first guest on that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. So I got to get behind Lauren. Look, I watched y'all first show and it was excellent, man. I say, look, I got to get on there.
Yeah.
I got to get on there. But yeah, man, glad to be here with you guys, man. Definitely.
Yeah, I really appreciate it. And, just a small story on like me and Chaz, like when we was in high school,
Mm-hmm.
it was so we went to two different high schools.
Yeah.
And people were like, they were coming up to me and they were like, yo, you look like Chad Hill. And I was like,
Yeah.
I don't know who that is, man. And then, you could tell your part.
Yeah.
And I just was like, okay. And then at one time we met up with each other. It's kind of like, oh, so that's who you was talking about.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Same here, man. It was like, a guy named Raheem? I was like, Raheem. I was like, maybe. I don't know. I know a lot of people, but he said, he look just like him, man. He look just like you. Y'all brothers? I'm like, I don't think so. Like, my pops got some explaining to do. If he did,
Yeah.
nah.
I was saying the same thing. I was like, yo, what? And then we both played football.
Yeah.
And, that was the crazy part about it. So it's like this situation, like I was telling you, I was like, it's almost like it was meant to happen.
Absolutely,
and
man.
Be like my first guest.
Yeah.
And, for so on and whatever.
Yeah.
We just was like good friends, man.
Absolutely,
we always kept it cordial. And every time we meet each other, it's always good,
Absolutely, man.
Heck yeah. So
exciting stuff, man.
Oh yeah, definitely. So what you got going on in life right now?
Man, life is nothing but family, man. Family. Got two boys, keep me busy. Little Josiah, Deontay. One's about to be 10 this year. Other one just turned 4. And I tell you, man, they keep my life busy.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, man, working, trying to provide. Going to church, trying to take care of that. So we've been just maintaining, man. Even during this whole pandemic, man, we would just staying above water. Staying afloat, thankfully.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, life's been good. Can't complain.
The crazy part about it is like, in this time right now, it's like a lot of people can't keep that same attitude that you got, and it's like it's a testament to you that you keep like good practices in your life, and
absolutely,
you try to do the right thing for as well as keeping yourself mentally balanced. Because like having a family, just like me and you, I did something a little bit more. I'm not going to say more courageous, but, I quit my job halfway through the pandemic and just kind of like went out on this journey of trying to achieve my goals and things like that. And, we both got kids and, they grow fast, they learn fast. And it's like just trying to keep that balance of just like working on your behalf or me just working too, man, and just trying to keep that family life together.
Absolutely,
it's a task, but it's like when you up for the job, it's like it's nothing. It's so easy to do.
It just happens, man. It almost like it just falls right into place, man. I mean, it's it's definitely a blessing, being able to, especially right now, I've been working from home like part-time, so I work from home 3 days during the week and I'm at the office for 2 days. So I've been able to keep one of my kids, and it was both over the summertime, but one's now back in school. But it's been a little bit of a challenge. You're trying to have that balance, but got to keep a level head, man. Trying to be that strength and that support in the home. So yeah, man.
Yeah, so we got to get into some juicy stuff.
Juicy, man. Juicy.
Or some controversial stuff in most people's minds, because then it's like if we talk about this stuff, because we're both two very like optimistic people, so we like to like think out of the box,
absolutely,
talk about different things. And like one of the first topics, do you want to just put it out there like right now, or you want to save it for later, or we can get started on this thing.
I tell you this, let's lead into it. Okay. So I'm pretty sure there are so many that is out there who have experienced something maybe supernatural, something that they can't explain, seen something, heard something, But for sure, I truly believe, man, these things exist. And it ain't just your normal, common folk who have seen these things, but there are people who have, who are in high office, who have witnessed these things themselves. And so, lo and behold, we're going to talk about UFOs. That's it.
He stamped it. He put it out there. Turn your head now, because it's about to get real.
That's it, man.
Yeah. So, like, I guess from my perspective of it, when I like talk to people, so in our visible galaxy, or when we look into the sky, there's hundreds and thousands of stars we see, and that's just in the surrounding area where we are, because you can see Andromeda with a telescope or whatever, but just imagine the Milky Way itself has 1 billion stars or more.
Absolutely.
And then Andromeda has 1 billion stars or more. And then when Hubble looks into the sky, it can see over hundreds of thousands of galaxies.
Amazing.
So do you it'd be amazing if we were the only ones in this universe. But at the same time, can you believe like that we are the only ones?
Dude, like, it's so crazy to try to comprehend, because right as a kid, your mind just like goes a million places. And even now it still goes a million places at one time. And so like, you look at the stars, you see the Big Dipper, you see, all these different things that you look up on books, and it's like, yeah, you can see this, you can see that. And then you start to wonder, and okay, here's that planet, and that's Venus right there, and there's Mercury, and you see these different things. Like, man, are we the only ones that exist in this one Milky Way, or one Milky Way? And you look at also all the other galaxies that exist out there, man. It's just like,
unless you believe in parallel dimensions, but that's that's something totally different.
That's a heavy one right there.
But for far as wise, like the stories that you got, like elaborate on that, or just like give people some insight on like what's going on.
Oh man. Okay. So trying to think, because definitely a couple times I can witness to seeing something that I just couldn't explain. I would just say probably started out, my mother used to tell me stories about things that she witnessed when she was a kid. And, just a story, like any other story, it sits in the back of your mind, and life goes on, you go through life. But whenever you kind of encounter something that you can't explain, those same stories start to kind of sprout up in your mind. Is like, oh, okay, I think I see exactly what you've been through. But so I would say the first time, man, I would say that I've ever encountered something that was super strange, I couldn't really explain. I was actually in a Walmart, believe it or not, and me and a girlfriend at the time, Lay. We were just ready to pack up everything, all the bags, putting it inside of the car. And I never forget it, man. Like, I mean, clear as day. I mean, the sun was already down and, starting to get dark a little teeny bit. But I remember buckling, I want to say he was about 7 or 8 months old, firstborn at the time. And so we're trying to buckle him up. And then, Leandra, she's, kind of wandering around the car. And then she's like, Chad. I was like, what? I'm thinking like, you all right? Like, what's up? Like, something happened? She's like, you see that? I'm like, see what?
Oh, so she saw it before you did?
She saw it before me. And she was like, you see that? I was like, see what? And then like, as she looked up, I'm looking up like, what are you looking at? And dude, I'm telling you, man, like, right, you think about helicopters, okay? They go from one destination to, the next.
Yeah.
You look at like airplanes, right? They got the flashing lights and, they go from one destination to the next. But I tell you, man, it was three orbs of light.
Yeah.
And when I tell you that, when I first glanced at it, I said, oh, that what you're talking about. Okay. I'm looking up. I'm like, what about it? And I'm starting to kind of look at it like, oh, wait a minute. And these orbs of light were just flashing every color from like the color spectrum. I mean, purple, blue, orange, yellow. I mean, it was just like pulsating, man. I'm just like, wait a minute, what the world is? And it was 3 of them. Mm-hmm. It was 3 of them, man. And I remember looking up in the sky, I was like, oh, wait a minute, what are they doing? Because you heard no sound. Mm-hmm. Visually, you can see them. I mean, I don't know how low they were, but like, you know, I can definitely tell you it was no drone.
Yeah.
Wasn't a, you know,
go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say it wasn't no weather balloon.
Yeah.
It wasn't like one of those lanterns that people light up in memory of a family. But these things were, I mean, like I said, like not only changing different colors and were silent, but they were they were moving in formation as if like each one of the 3 were like communicating as somewhat like this, like, so this is how I kind of picture it, because this is what was happening. It was like one at this angle here, one kind of at this like lower like angle over here, and one at the bottom. Yeah. And so like as we continue to watch it, I remember seeing like the one at the top kind of shift down, and then the other one kind of slowly just kind of move up. And then the one at the bottom comes at a weird angle. It was almost like at a weird 45-degree angle, man. I'm just like, what are they doing? And it was, like I said, no sound, didn't have any type of like, you know, anything that was what you call it, steam, or I don't know, smoke or whatever, propulsion. Or propulsion. Yeah.
Or exiting gas coming from it, or exhausting gas.
And I remember looking at it, I was like, man, wait a minute, what is going on? And then like all of a sudden, like as these things were like continues into you know, flash these different colors, man, and they would go at these weird angles and shift and rotate. I'm just like, what? And then all of a sudden, like one would kind of dim out. Yeah. I was like, yo, where'd that one go? And I'm, like I said, like it wasn't pitch black yet, but like it was just starting to kind of get dark. And I'm looking at it like, yo, what in the world, man? What is this? I'm telling Lay, like, you got your phone? She's like, my phone's dead. I'm like, oh, let me get my phone. Yeah. My phone's dead. I'm like, yo, ain't nobody gonna believe us, man. And so as we still watching, man, like one by one, it would disappear, and then like all of a sudden it'll end up on this side, like at a different like look, like we can still see it in the sky, but it was like on this other side, and all of a sudden that one that on this side disappeared and ends up right over here as well. I'm like, what? So I'm tripping like, and I'm looking around at people, and like I said, we're in Walmart parking lot, man. And I'm looking at other people like, do y'all see this?
Yeah, they ain't even like paying attention.
A lot of people are just kind of
just coasting along,
putting their cart back, going to their car, putting their grocery bags up. And it was just the strangest thing, man, as if like, I don't know, something strange was happening. And I was looking in the sky still, man. I'm like, yo, this is not, like I said, a drone, airplane. I mean, it was just a strange feeling, man. Like, and then like I said, like over, I would say the course of 5 minutes between it changing colors, going to different angles, rotations, you couldn't hear no sound, nothing, disappearing, reappearing, you know, all of a sudden, one by one, they all just disappear. Yeah. And I'm thinking like, Lay, whoa. Yeah. Right. Like, of course, like in this time, like we're young.
So I was about to say earlier, like how long ago, like this was like, what, a while, how old is your older son now?
So Tay, he'll be 10, and this year he'll be 10 in December. So
just imagine how like technology was back then. The phones were like okay, they weren't like what they are now.
Absolutely,
or whatever. Yep. So we old enough to acknowledge that, but that's like crazy, man.
Dude, that's just one time experience. So, okay.
So you got more.
Oh, dude. So this wasn't just like a one-off thing. Like, oh, okay, that happened, and you know, so when I saw that, man, I was like, all right, it's definitely weird. I told a couple people. Of course, they look at you like,
yeah.
What? But then you tell other people, it's like, yo, I've seen something similar to that before, man. Yeah. And it's like, so you can kind of identify to that, right? You know, it's not like, oh yeah, you're crazy. You don't know what you were looking at, man. Like, no, trust me, I know what I saw, man. And that is something that, dude, your average person could not explain. You cannot explain away what that was, man. No helicopter, no drone, no airplane, you know, lantern, whatever you want to call it, man. There was none of those. But then I would say years later, me and Lay, we had a beach house. We were going for about a week with the family. We get a beach house every year, and we were in North Carolina. And
they following you.
Man, look, they just everywhere, man. So we were in North Carolina, and I remember sitting inside of the hot tub, right? Nice house. I mean, I can't remember how many bedrooms, but real nice beach house right on the water, right where the sand. So we sitting there having a good time, relaxing in the jacuzzi, and looking at the stars. I mean, perfect sight, man. I mean, just stars everywhere, beautiful, man. We're just sitting there relaxing. It was probably about 1:30, 2 in the morning. Vacation, right? We had no time to go to bed. So, the kids, the one kid was asleep. All the other family was just chilling, in the game room or just inside of the bedroom. And, man, I tell you, it was just like a nice, peaceful moment, man. I was just like, yeah, this is nice, man. I can get used to this, only for a week. Yeah. But, yeah, man, living like a king. I was like, yeah, this is nice. And dude, I tell you, we wasn't under the influence of nothing. We wouldn't, smoking, drinking, none of that stuff, man. But we were like, like we looked at each other. I remember we first looked at each other and we just had a little moment. We looked into the sky, and then like this blue, like orb, like a blue orb, man. I mean, it was like such a bright, like blue color that lit up the sky. Yeah. And it came at this weird angle. And all of a sudden you heard like, you ever had like a quarter or a penny or whatever, and you just like drop it in water?
Yeah, and it's like that. Bloop.
Like, doop, like, yeah. Dude, so this blue orb or whatever this thing was, man, and honestly, I don't think it was a meteor. Yeah. But it was definitely something that you can see very, very easily in the sky. And it came again at this weird angle. And it kind of just dropped into the ocean, man. And I was like, yo. Yeah. What was that? And we looked at each other like, okay. Something like that going to the ocean. Wait a minute. Now, what that was, like, again,
Was it still like fluorescent when it hit, or was it kind of just like dropped in and like it just like dissipated, or it was kind of just like, if the ocean's deep and you far away, you ain't gonna be able to see if it's still like lit up, because that's like kind of like that story we was talking about that dude earlier, and that naval jet is like, for some reason, they always like near the ocean, because he said something about these tides and things like that they create. And then he's like, it's just like floating over the ocean doing something, and then they go and see it, observe it. Right. These different scenarios of when they see stuff like that. So it's like when you see something like that and multiple people see something like that, and I don't know, people don't want to grasp it. They don't want to think about it. Nope. And like we were talking about earlier, it's almost like, I always thought this, like when they put stuff in movies, right? Yeah. They say it's fictional, or it's fictional until you actually see it for real. Right. So like you said, dropping them breadcrumbs constantly, because like the Batman car, we thought that was like something that could never be produced. Yeah. And now in 2020, they could make something like that
easily.
But they put that out how long ago?
Absolutely.
So absolutely. With what you telling me is like, it's been multiple occasions, dude. Yeah. Most people gonna be like, "Oh, he crazy, man." Yeah. Yeah. But when you write, what they gonna say then?
Right. Yeah. I mean, so right when that happened, we were in North Carolina, like I said, like. We just looked at each other like, yo, this is strange, right? We didn't know what that was. But I tell you this, another time. Yeah. So we were at my mom's house, right? I'm living with my mom. And we were, in the car. Actually, man, we had an argument, man. We were just, mad at each other. We just going back and forth about something. Honestly, I don't know what it was about, but we were just arguing, man. And we sitting in the car, nighttime. I remember just sitting there in silence, man, after a point of time where, she didn't want to talk to me. I didn't want to talk to her. Yeah. We were just sitting there in the car quiet. And the car that I had at the time was a Lexus ES300, and it had a little moon setup right
baller.
there.
Baller.
Trust me, that thing was a lemon. But dude, I mean, right? I'm looking up as I'm sitting inside that car, and here goes this little orb of light.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, what is that? And so, right, quickly, we became like instant, like, yeah, you see that? I see that. Okay, let's get out the car. So we got the car, and we're watching this thing. Dude, man, again, level-headed, sober-minded, nothing to influence our thoughts on what this was.
Yeah.
But we get out the car, and we look, and this orb of light, it was bright blue, and it was just like shining. And dude, it was like accelerating at a speed that I have no clue what that speed was, but we're watching it as it shoots across the sky, literally stop, come up at an angle, go up, like almost like vertically, and then like shoot across the sky, going across like this other side. And we're walking up the street trying to follow, like, oh my goodness, where's this thing going?
Yeah.
And where my mother lived at the time, it was over there near the airport. So over there near the Injik building where the military little base is over there. And we walked up the street in that neighborhood and we watched this thing, man. Like I said, it went at this weird angle and just accelerated at a crazy speed. And it was like, almost like, it was like, kind of like, going at this jagged little
something like super unexplainable.
Dude, I'm just like, what in the world what are we looking at? And then all of a sudden, man, it stopped, it slowed down. Right? Imagine somebody saying that's a meteor. What meteor have you ever seen in history that go at this angle and speed and stop? Like, I never heard of a meteor stopping at this speed and then going at a completely different direction. And we watch this thing as we walk up this street. There's like a steep hill. And once it kind of accelerated at a different like speed, it slowed down just a little bit. It almost was kind of like starting to hover. And then all of a sudden, dude, I'm talking like it was. And we looked at each other like, I'm telling you, man, I don't know what this is. I mean, I know we aren't the only ones who have experienced this before. But dude, man, I was like, yo, we gotta talk. We gotta tell somebody something, man.
Because I don't even know how to explain it. I think like I've had like scenarios like that, but I've more so had scenarios with people,
Right.
Instead of me seeing, like the orbs and then like the actual ships and things of that nature, like you have seen, I've come across people that are kind of like, psychologists might just think they have like a certain disorder or a mental issue, but I'm pretty good at like kind of reading people.
Yeah.
And they felt kind of different.
Yeah.
And it's like I'm very good at reading like the energy of people, reading people as well as like the characteristics and things like that. It's like I've come encounter with maybe like 4 or 5 people that are like this in my lifetime.
Yeah.
They pop up out of nowhere.
Yeah.
They just like see you. They just like start talking to you.
Yeah.
And it feels, in a sense, so natural.
Yeah. Right.
And
Very true.
most people might say like they angels or whatever they want to say, but it's almost like you have like this most intellectual conversation. It hits on every point that you want to hit on in life.
Yep.
And all of a sudden the conversation stops and it's like they just disappear. And I've had that happen to me at least like 5 times in my life. And I know there's tons of people out there that probably listen to this. They like, yo, I've had the same thing. Same thing that happened.
Absolutely.
And it's like crazy, man, because I don't know. I kind of like look back on like I've been researching like the Anunnaki and the Sumerian texts and stuff like that.
I was about to get into it, man.
And as you like telling me these stories, I'm like, are you like, do they got like a tracker on you like to say like you might be like a descendant of them, like strong bloodline and things like that? Because like if you can elaborate on it, a lot of people don't know about the Anunnaki and Sumerian text, so it's like you may have dove into it a little bit deeper than I have, so I'll let you like explain it to people if they want to know about it.
I mean, when you think about the Anunnaki, man, and what that even is, man, it was like an ancient civilization of people who really, has literally was handed like this ancient knowledge, man, something that was far greater than their understanding. And I took that, right, the understanding behind the Anunnaki, and I wanted to honestly apply it to something that really made sense, right? The Bible makes sense to me to a certain degree. You know, some things in there I still don't understand, but if you look back in the Bible, man, about in Genesis chapter 6, man, it talks about you know, the fallen angels, the fallen ones. There's a good portion of that, man, that talks about how they had daughters with, like, the sons of God had daughters with men at the time, men and women at the time.
Yeah.
Of course not with men, but
yeah.
And there was a hybrid. It was what, you know, they would try to call them, but I'm trying to think of the name of what they would call it, the Nephilim.
Yeah.
Nephilim, man. And if you look in the book, well, speaking of story of Noah, do you know the reason why God wiped out everyone in the Bible at that time, you know, and saved only Noah and his family?
Because I feel like it was like everything was like getting genetically messed up.
Yes,
you know?
Absolutely. That is exactly right, man. Yes, sin abound, and, you know, everything was just evil. People were eating their kids and selling them off, and right, it's kind of what people doing nowadays.
Yeah.
And that's why the Bible talks about, man, as in the days of Noah, so shall it be in the, you know, the coming of the Son of Man. But you hit it right there on the head, man. That everybody was genetically messed up. And it was because they call them, you know, like I said, the Nephilim, but they were giants. The Bible says, man, how they were giants on the earth in this time. And you know, this same breed of folks, man, God wiped them all out. Wiped them all out, and only saved 8 folks, man. Noah, his 3 sons, his wife, and, you know, their wives. But that bloodline, man, dude, I'm telling you, like,
I think it still kind of exists because if like, so I guess in the Sumerian text and Anunnaki, they almost, it's like it correlates with the Bible because they talk about these, they say reptiles. And then you look in the beginning of the Bible, what induced Eve. Yeah. But then in Sumerian text, they talk about these, I don't know what they're called, but they're select group of like the Anunnaki that were like reptilian type people. And it's almost like when I was sitting there listening to it and I'm investigating everything like that, it's almost like if this is the case, you know, I don't want to say it's truth because people will be like, oh man, you trying to state the truth. No, it's not the case, but it's just from me doing research and stuff like that and looking at it. It's almost like when you close a door and somebody else sneak in behind you, and it's almost like that story of the fallen angels kind of correlates with what they talking about. And then if you look at the repetitive history of this earth, you look at ancient cities, you look at different civilizations, stuff's been wiped out continuously. And then you find all those cities in the ocean and stuff like that. There's something going on. And you know, I'm not going to say, like I posted on Facebook, I was like, yo, the aliens coming. But I'm just like, yo, something is like brewing. Dude. I don't know what it is, but I kind of can feel it.
I'm right there with you, man. I mean, honestly, though, like, and I try to keep this as a way to ground me, man, is that, you know, no matter what this is or what it could be, I would say that, man, it's truly, from my studies and kind of what I've been looking into, man, is that, you know, it's really going to be a spirit of deception, man. Like people are going to become so deceived, man, of what's about to happen. I've even like just hear theories, man, that, you know, because the Bible talks about how, you know, the Antichrist is going to come and, you know, it's going to show, it's going to have power. It's going to have power to do this and do that. And, man, and I'm not saying personally this is what I believe, but man, like I said, I've heard it said that, you know, this deception that talks about in the Bible, man, people are going to be, you know, glued into this Antichrist, and, you know, who knows if it could be, you know, this being or something that is not from this planet.
because a unicorn could pop up tomorrow and people gonna follow it. But not trying to like dumb down anything that you saying, but we can't. If you thinking the way I'm thinking, we really don't want to put a name on it. We don't want to put a face on it. We don't want to put a molecular structure on it.
Right.
So we'll never know. But when it shows his face, or if it's already showing his face, we already know what's going on, because it's like you got to stay in tune and be aware about you know, your surroundings, things like that.
Yep. Nah, that's so true, man. I mean, thinking about, you know, just all these different, you know, times to where I've witnessed this like firsthand. Like, if somebody, right, you know, I'm a Christian, you know, I definitely believe in the power and the healing power of God, and you know, I believe that, you know, Christ came down on the cross for our sins. I want to say that there are those, man, who would look at somebody who have experienced, you know, something that couldn't explain, a UFO, or, I mean, there's a new term that they're calling it now. It's not UFO no more, but it's like
what is it, unidentified object?
No, it's some phenomena. It's some unidentified. Oh, there we go. UAP, unidentified aerial phenomena.
Okay,
that's what they're calling it now, right? Like a lot of the government officials in these new release that they just talked about, from the videos that we discussed, they're calling it UAP. But like there would be Christians and those who would look at somebody and say, you know, you believe in aliens, you believe in, you know, UFOs, you've seen UFOs. How can that be? You're a Christian, man. How in the world? Like, but then, right, you look at somebody such as myself, and you would, you know, try to tell them about the love of Christ and what Christ did for you in your life. It's like, wait a minute, you believe in Jesus? Wait a minute, there's no way you can believe in Jesus. It's like you can't discredit this person's testimony or what they've gone through because they've experienced it. And so it's like, for me, man, like, you know, it's on kind of both sides. Like, you know, I've experienced Christ. I believe in like I said, the healing and the salvation of God. But like I said, I've experienced something, man, that I know I am not the only one.
Because you got more stories, right?
Oh, dude.
See, I'm confirming to everybody that you are a descendant of these people. And but the thing about it is like, I truly believe it, because it's like they just make people seem like they're crazy.
Yeah.
Because they see stuff like this. But it's like tons of people. It's like, I ain't trying to like stop you from your story or whatever. So say like, I'm gonna take it to a whole nother level, like on the spiritual side of things.
Right.
It's like I told a story on one of my podcasts about, I woke up one morning, I was thinking about albino people. Driving to work, a white deer crossed past my truck the same morning.
I've seen it twice before.
Let me tell you something. Yesterday, I went to go have a conversation with one of my dudes, one of my friends that I know, whatever. Mm-hmm. I leave out the dentist's office. He's actually texting me, and I'm actually calling him 11:11. You know, I'm into spirituality and stuff. And he's like, "Did you mean to do it on purpose?" I'm like, I didn't even know what time it was.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, I got out the dentist's office. I'm like, yo, I got to meet him. Let me just call him.
Yeah.
He's like, I literally hit the button at 11:11 to send you the text, and you were calling me at 11:11.
Oh, wow.
So then we go meet up. We sitting there talking, chatting and things like that. Dude, a white rabbit came from up under his truck.
Come on,
and crossed between both of us. I kid you not.
That's wild, man.
I kid you not. And then while we were having the conversation, just came back, and it sat there between both of us.
Yo, that's crazy.
and it's like, Lauren knows about that albino story. It's like, me to chill when I talk about it.
Yeah.
And it's like that morning, as soon as like I saw that deer cross the road, I was like, yo. And then me and him, because when I finally met, you know, we got into a conversation about like numerology and stuff, and his favorite number is 11. Okay. I'm at 11. And the other day we called each other, texted each other at the same time, and it was just like that white rabbit just like sat in between both of us.
Yeah.
Crazy story. But it's like, I want to hear more about yours, but
yeah, man,
I just want to throw that out there to people. It's like these phenomenons like happen. It's not a phenomenon. It's like real life stuff. It's real
life. Yeah. And it honestly happens to an ordinary person. Like, honestly, I consider myself an ordinary guy who works, you know, like anybody else does. But, you know, in my time on this earth, man, I've encountered things that I can't explain, and I look back into other people's story and what they've gone through, and it's similar, you know. Of course, I've never been abducted or nothing like that, you know, but I mean, these stories, man. I mean, like I said, people who have encountered these things, whatever they are, have real stories. You know, they have no reason to lie. I mean, nobody's there. I mean, there might be some out there who wanted to, you know, be about how many views they can get on YouTube and, you know, how many people can like this thing. But no, I mean, people who have experienced this thing, like I said, my mother,
Yeah.
What's the reason for her to lie to me about her experience of seeing one of these things? Like I said, like my mother, she's experienced, you know, seeing things that she couldn't explain in the sky. And that was fun because she told me that when she was a kid, she seen a red orb that was like flying in the sky, you know, at a crazy speed.
Yeah.
You know, stuff to where that when she was younger, her what was it? It was some strange sound that she heard, and all of a sudden her house shook, like you know, just shook violently, man. It wasn't no earthquake, nothing was registered on the Richter scale or nothing like that, but just her house shook. And come outside, and you know, it's a lot of stuff, man. That I'm just like, man.
I think a question I got for you is, have you ever had anything like significant happen in your life where you almost could have like died or something like that?
Oh, dude. So that's a good segue, man, to kind of what my testimony is, man, about, you know, receiving Christ. So when I was 25, all right, and so I remember, man, actually me and Lady, we split up. Like, you know, I was a single man. I consider myself single at the time. I mean, I'm loving life finally, thinking that, you know, the chains are broken, you know, I can go out and, you know, live lavishly, you know, and, you know, in peace. But dude, I tell you, man, as much I was going out to the bars, drinking, smoking, I remember just like being in the club, sitting there thinking like, man, is this it? Like, is this what life is about, man? And I remember just having these thoughts come out of nowhere. It's like, whoa, like, oh man, this is kind of a deep thought. Like, where'd that come from? And one night, you know, I had the same thought, man. I was like, dude, I gotta get home, man. What am I doing here? And so to my boys, all right, man, I'm out. You know, I'll holler at y'all later. And I was driving home, man, and I remember, dude, like, it's like I blacked out like completely, man. Like, I remember driving home and like, don't do this, guys, but like I was drinking and driving, and the Lord spared my life, man. I was driving home, like basically sleep behind the wheel, no seatbelt on. And I remember like coming to a place where I was like slowly coming to myself, like, you know, just kind of being aware of my surroundings, and all of a sudden like, oh crap, I'm driving. Oh crap, I don't have my seatbelt on. Oh crap, my car is on the embankment about to like hit this.
Almost like you have like an outer body experience, dude, and acknowledging all that stuff that's going on. I'm telling
you, man, like it was so real, dude, to where like this happened, like I want to say instantly, man. I'm just like, and I like, right, my mind all of a sudden becomes like sober. I'm just like, and I'm looking around like, okay, realizing no seatbelt. I'm basically intoxicated. I'm driving, and then all of a sudden, like I feel like time slowed down, man. Like in that moment for me to make that decision. And it's like, I felt God's voice speak to me, man. And he was like, you know, if I continue to live in sin, I'm going to die right here, not knowing who he is and what he has called me to do.
Yeah.
And it was so crazy because like, right, I was definitely intoxicated. But like, as I'm hearing this, man, I'm just like, wait a minute. And like, I had my hand on the steering wheel, and I remember like hearing this voice saying, you know, if you follow me, I'll give you righteousness. I'll give you a new life. Yeah. And I'm just like fighting, man, to take that steering wheel and turn it. And dude, I remember looking back as I completely, man, got my vehicle from off that edge, from basically like right on 29, man. I'll never forget it. Like I was right on it was so crazy. Yeah. And I remember looking like, man, I should have died that night, man. I have a nephew, which I don't know if he was intoxicated at all, but you know, I believe he slept over the wheel, but he died. I had a cousin also slept behind the wheel, died. A couple of friends who I know from school, died right in the car. You know what I'm saying? Why me? God, why'd you spare me? Yeah. Why my life? You know, I'm just like, it's got to be something more to this, man. So I started going to this church, man, and it's the same church I still go to. But dude, they started to preach about the gospel, man, and you know about what Christ did for you, and you know, growing up, bro. I tell you, I I really, wasn't really raised in the church. My parents split at a young age. I was raised by my mother. We would see my father on weekends and try to, he would try to do what he can, but it was just different, man, not having that father figure inside the home. And so, we would be with him on weekends, and he would go to this church he was going to when we were younger, but we didn't hear what was going on and whatnot. And we really didn't understand what sin was and what the gospel was about.
Yeah.
But dude, I tell you, man, at the time where I was really experiencing that true lowness, man, of like feeling empty, it was like Christ was, everything that I needed to hear in that moment when that gospel was being preached, man. And I'm telling you, I was like, I was there on that church service, man. It's like, man, because my dad for years, man, he wasn't like, if you don't go to church, you're going to burn in hell, man. He was never not like none of that. But he definitely would plant that seed, man. And it was like, Chad, you should come to church, man. You should come. I'm like, yeah, I'll go there one day.
Yeah.
When my life get right, you know what I'm saying? I'll get to church. I'm saying, like, and that's the kind of the falsehood, man, that we fall into, is like we think we got to get right before we got to go to church. But really, man, God wants us, as we are, to where he can clean us up, man. And I finally took that offer, man, because like I said, I was empty, man. I ain't had nothing.
Yeah.
And dude, I remember that gospel was preached, man. And I'll tell you, man, I remember just, being in that moment, just, praying and just asking God, man, for forgiveness, man, to be cleansed. And it was just that was a supernatural experience, man, because I felt God, man, that very moment, man. God filled me with his spirit, and, I was baptized, man. And I tell you, man, that from that moment, when God told me in that vehicle, when I was intoxicated, that he would change my life, he would give me a new life, man. I'm telling you, I'm walking in it to this day.
Yeah.
To this day, man. Married, you know what I'm saying? 6 years, man, just, having 2 kids, having a career, dude, this is all God's doing, man.
Yeah.
And so, I definitely think about that a lot, man. Just knowing that, in spite of all this, craziness, man, God's hand definitely has been on my life. He's been definitely something that, I can think back to always remember, man. He's definitely granted me, that grace, man. Cause that's what it's about, man. That grace, man. Cause I'm telling you, I should have died that night.
Oh yeah.
My wife, my parents, everybody should be visiting my grave, maybe my birthday. I don't know, but God spared my life that night, man. Because I tell you, man, I was just young and dumb, but he gave me a chance, and I'm honestly, man, walking in that grace, man. So yeah, I feel like I need to probably, lay that foundation down, man, because, no matter what, what's out there, dude, I truly believe God is in control.
Yeah, because you rather believe in something than not at all.
Yeah.
And then from the sounds of it, why I asked you that question is like, you got like a ton of, because you seeing these things and you're experiencing these things. It's either guides, or like angels watching over your life. Because I've had situations occur where, the one time that made me really think about it is like, we were up there in Harrisonburg, like, everybody and stuff like that. And they had this club called the Poo Poo or whatever it's called. And, I'm just like, I'm kind of like you, man, because I can sense it. We don't hang out all the time, but as every time we get together, I kind of can sense me and you are on like the same page as far as like personality traits.
Right.
We ain't the same, but we kind of got a lot of stuff in common.
Absolutely, man.
And, we went up there. I'm chill. I sit back. Yeah, I almost say I'm like the lion waiting in the den, So I'm like dancing with my girlfriend, and like this dude just comes up, and he's like, long story short, he's just like been in jail and shot somebody, and he just come up for some reason out of everybody else that got girls that he gonna pick my girl up. So I'm just like, I'm young, 20, and I'm just like, yo, back up,
right?
And he like, man, I'll kill you, whatever the case may be. And me, I'm young, I'm like, whatever, like, what's up, you trying to fight, know? So then he like, nah, I'm gonna shoot you, whatever. And I was like, okay, like, we in Harrisonburg, you ain't gonna do none of that. So then we all just like, for some reason, like, it got escalated. Then we went outside, and then it was like all of a sudden it got serious because people were like going to their cars and stuff like that. And I was like, still, I'm not worried about it. And then the next stop, IHOP. Even in Charlottesville, what was the next stop? IHOP, Waffle House, things like that. So we go in there, and it was everybody there, our crew, whatever. So sit down at the tables, and the dude, he just comes up, and he's like looking at me like like making signs like that and everything.
Come on.
So then Devon, he was like, man, don't go nowhere, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Because we was all parked out in front of the IHOP in the same situation.
Yeah.
So, I went to the bathroom. Yeah. Because I was like, I'm not worried about it. Yeah. Devon was like, when I went to the bathroom, he said he didn't see the dude. So apparently the dude went outside and thought I went outside. Oh. And then, like, he was like, the twins was like sleeping in the car, and he like tapped on him. He was like, where your boy at? Let the shirt up.
Come on.
And then, like, I something told me to go outside, but I didn't. I went to the bathroom, right? And then, like, in that moment, Devon said he went outside, and the dude just like, "Nah, where your boy at?" And he was like, "I don't know." Then they left, and I was like, it's just like moments like that. It's like something's like guiding you. And then, like, another situation is like, I was on Rio. Right. I was in my lower 1991 Honda Accord, right? Heck yeah. And it was like raining real hard. And up there at the top of the hill when that S curve starts to get down to like that Taylor's body shop down at the bottom. Yep. So I was up there. I was coming home, leaving from over there in Abington Apartments near the mall. Yep. Or whatever. I know exactly what you're talking about. So I was going down that hill. You know how curvy that hill is? Yeah, man. Dude. My car was at the top of the street, spun out. Oh, on that curvy road, like, cause my wheels were cambered like that or whatever. So it was raining real bad. I didn't put that out there, but it was raining real bad. My car started spinning out from the top right there. Good Lord, Tell me why my car spun out all the way down to the bottom, stopped on the right side of the road, on the right side of the road, like over here. Yeah. And I tell my dad all the time, like, the car just like stopped. It didn't hit no guardrail or nothing like that. And I was like perfectly in the middle of the street.
I'm telling you, man.
And then it was like, I was like, okay, let me slow down. I drove back up. Yeah. And then slowly came back down. Cause you can't turn around nowhere right there. Right. And I just like drove up and then went in that one little neighborhood at the top and then turned back around, came down slow. And I was like, I tell people, and I'm like thinking, it's times when I didn't go places. Yep. And the car got shot where I usually sit at in the car.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
And it's just like, is this like, divine intervention?
That's grace right there, bro. I'm telling you, God has His hand on your life as well, man.
It's crazy, man.
That's so true.
I don't understand it. Right. But it's like we can grasp our minds around it to try to understand it. But it's like when I see those situations like yours and then like mine, it's like you feel like protected, so don't nobody try to come after us. Yeah, right. Absolutely. But it's just crazy, and it's to think that there's like thousands of people that got like almost like the same stories that we got, and won't put them out there because they're ashamed of like talking about it or things like that. Call me crazy, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm honestly, I'm at a point now in my life, man. Hey, everybody's gonna have an opinion about you, man. And honestly, you can't stop other people from saying something about you. It may be a lie, it could be the truth, but it's their opinion. Yeah. Honestly, man, if it ain't my family, my friends, the circle, who I have, and God, it don't matter what other people say about me, man. That's why I'm willing to have this conversation, man. Like I said, as being a Christian man, definitely experiencing, man, UFOs. I've seen some things, man. That's some crazy stuff that's out there in the sky.
It's not as if you're a Christian, like you saying you are, and it's like there's people out there that's seeing these things. It's not unrealistic, man. Yeah. Like we said, you know how big the universe is? Dude, yep. And it's like if you believe God made the universe, like there should be some unfathomable things that you'll see. Absolutely. Because if we want to break it down into context, the closest star to us is what, like 200 light years away or something like that. Yep. So to break it down to the people, those people, if they 200 light years away, probably they're seeing what, about 1,000 years into the past. Yeah. So you're not really like seeing. I don't know if that's true. I was saying. Don't nobody like tell. But it's like if anybody else that's like on our level of like technology or anything like that, just as much as they can't see us because they're so far away, it's just as much we can't see them because they so far away. And people, I think that's what people don't understand, like how big the universe is.
It's hard to comprehend
because the closest star to us, it'll take like, if we had our average spaceship, it'll take like over like 36,000 years to get there.
That's crazy. Can't comprehend that.
Yeah, and I don't think a lot of people comprehend that. Yeah. So I don't know. You can't really explain it unless they want to learn it.
Yeah, you gotta have open mind, man, about this stuff, bro. I mean, like I said, some people, man, can be just flat out, nope, can't be real. You guys are crazy. until they experience it.
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. What is that?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Man.
It's just like, I guess another topic is like just not to get away from that.
Yeah.
It's like you as an individual, people watching this,
Yep.
people seeing how far you've come as I'm gonna just put out there, young African American male.
Absolutely.
It's like, can you like drop some dimes for people to help them in their journey in life, as we both come to this point in our lives where we can have this conversation, and just give them some information or just some gems so they can succeed in life.
Man, I would tell you this, man. There's one thing that has helped me, and I don't pat myself on the back at all when I say this, but we have to be humble, man.
Yeah.
We have to be humble, man. I would say that the opportunities that comes before you, as strange sometimes as these things can happen, take them, because you know what? We're not going to succeed at everything that comes before us, but you don't know if you don't try.
Yeah.
And so, a lot of opportunities have been coming before me. I've took them, learned some things. I failed, got back up.
Yeah.
That's one thing, man, about we got to realize is that, when we do fall, it's our choice to stay there.
Mm-hmm.
And so, the times that I've fallen, I had to get back up, and so, I would say, definitely, remain humble, because I believe that, the opportunities that's before you, man, it's something for us that we can definitely learn from. We can learn from our mistakes. We can learn from our successes as well.
Yeah.
But, we also got to give that to somebody else. Like what we're doing right now, we're talking about, passing down some nuggets, man, to somebody. There can be times in our lives to where we can, pass down this information, and we got to do it. I mean, I'm just grateful, man, for, life. Sometimes, man, we got to put a pause on life and just look around us, man, because at times, man, life just happens, man. Like, like I said, my son's 10. I'm about to be 10, and my son right now, my second son is 4. And so I'm just like, dang, wait a minute, man. Like, what have I done these last few years, man? I'm just like, I'm aging,
Yeah.
My kids growing up, and, I'm married in the house, it's like, man, what I've been doing. And so, I just reflect back, man, just knowing that, man, I've definitely been blessed. Take advantage of the opportunities that's given to you. Don't make excuses for things that has happened in your life.
Yeah.
Like I said, I grew up without a father in my life, man. And, I didn't make excuses saying that, well, my father wasn't there, which means, I gotta, keep throwing it out there. But you gotta step up, man. You gotta step up. And especially whenever you have a kid, I was 20, I want to say 21, 22.
When you first had a kid?
Yeah, I first had a kid, and I was just like, all right now.
Yeah.
If I'm man enough to do that, I got to be man enough to take care of it, man. So, and that's one thing I did, man. I put a pause on college. I could have continued college, but I definitely wanted to, step up, man, and, pursue a career and, continue to support, the family. So,
oh, you good?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you gotta go.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Took a quick pause. Look, hey, this is real life right here, man. Like I use the bathroom. Look.
Take a quick pause, man.
Quick pause.
We can interject.
Okay, all right, look. Be right back, man.
All right. We back. Just to finish up on that, you dropping those nuggets.
Yeah.
People just need to realize what's in front of them, and that's one thing that I try to do is like live in the moment, live in the moment. What a lot of people, I tell my dad all the time, I feel like it's just like a lot of like placeholders on this earth that just like walk through this earth, and whether you believe in like reincarnation or whatever people believe, I think it's just like their nature until they finally wake up and acknowledge, why am I doing this?
Yeah.
Why do I keep on going through this? And I understand situations. I understand what a lot of people go through, and I have a lot of like empathy for what people go through. But it's like if you can acknowledge and be conscious about your surroundings, if you can take everything for face value and diagnose it and then process it in your brain to create this like true outcome of who you want to be, which direction you want to go in, and you know, just keep a mental state of like you. It's tons of people out there that do not have the intellect like you have to endure not having a dad. I've seen it in my life because my dad was 2 years old. Dad died. Like never had him, like, period. Wow. And man, it just like blows my mind that he can go from that point in his life to be just like the hardest working freaking individual, teacher, trainer, loving. He's kind of hard nosed, but at the same time, just be the individual that he is, man. So it's like, that's like what we were talking about earlier. It's like these miracles happen, and there's tons of people out there that got stories and things that they're going through in their life, and I've experienced a lot of it just by me having encounters with people. It's like, no, I haven't been through the same situations, but it's almost like I collect these stories from individuals. So when I run into somebody that's having the same problem, I can relate to them. I'm not saying I can fully relate, but I almost can have like a cohesive conversation with them that can kind of like be like, okay, this guy got some kind of knowledge about what I'm talking about. So if I had to say anything to individuals such as me and you, because I hate throwing a race out there, because that's just a separation of humanity when we classify people in those dictions that were just created to separate all of us. But it's like, dude, don't, if anything, you're an individual. Make your own path. Follow your own path, go in your own direction, shine your own light, and then take your gifts and your talents, your God-given abilities, that's it, and just like circulate it within your circle and make everybody culminate to this like grand thing that can create something within you. Even if you're in a bad situation or if you're in a good situation, just like, let's just create that spark, so all of us can be on the same page. All of us can get together, and all of us can be like powerful, man. And just create really a promise. Just create a promising future for each other. You know. So that's if I ain't mean to get off.
No, man, you went deep. You went levels deep, man. But no, honestly, man, that's what, you know, even those who are listening right now, man, they need to hear this type of conversation, man. I had a conversation with somebody. It wasn't a podcast, but it was just like I think it was like a Facebook Live thing, man, we did. And we talked about what is it to be, you know, I hate to bring up the race thing again, but you know, what is it like to be, you know, a black man living in, you know, America right now, in this climate that we're in. You know, we had honestly a healthy discussion. You know, it was 5 other brothers on there talking about their life experiences, and you know, we all got a chance to hear one another, you know, our story, and you know, just different experiences, man. And it was really good, man. It was really good to hear the feedback of people just saying, you know, we need to have more people like this having these open dialogues, man, and just having these conversations, because, you know, we got uncles and, you know, grandparents and people who definitely experienced, you know, something that we haven't quite met at that level, but have experienced it, man. And sometimes, man, you just don't hear those stories or see it. And so, man, it's definitely good to have these type of conversations and just, you know, have these open dialogues, man.
Dude, I swear, imagine if our grandparents had Facebook or had like Instagram, social media.
I would love.
It's like the fact that I would love to see it, but like the developmental progression of like social media. And what me and you started out with, what, MySpace? No, AOL. You ever had AOL Messenger?
AOL, I had that.
So it's just like, you know, we go back that far, and just to see how it's progressed. Do you think it's like, how can I say this? Do you think it's developed any like thing in your life where you kind of like, yo, I gotta like watch myself with this, because it's like, it's kind of like changing the mold of my mind, the way I perceive things.
That's true, man. I mean, honestly, man, like you look at that stuff, I mean, just like anything else, it's an addiction. You know, and we know how addictions can play out into our mind. I mean, I'm no psychologist, man, but like, you know, our brain, you know, is a very, very, very powerful, you know, thing. And so, you know, it definitely can help, you know, shape and affect us, some for the good, but also for bad as well. But I tell you, man, I love my grandparents, man. They be having some, we sit out there on, nice little fire on the land. We have like a little bonfire and, just listen to, their times of growing up and, their experiences, man. I tell you, I would love to see that in the in the molded shape of like social media, because most times some grandparents do have social media, but like I know mine don't. But dude, that would be so cool to see, man. Just to kind of, it's funny because my grandmother, man, at her house, she has like a wall, in her house that has pictures of like all of us, grandkids, her kids, my aunts, and my mother, everybody when they were young and leading all the way up to the point even to now. And it's kind of like her Facebook, and like it's all those pictures are posted on her wall, but like it's at her house. And so the family and friends of people who can, actually experience that, man, in her life, we have to go there to her house, man. So, man, it's definitely a cool thing. If I could, ever see that,
it'd be something sweet to see.
I tell you.
Yeah, definitely, man. So who you got in the NBA Finals?
Whew, man, I tell you, man, it's gonna be the Lake Show for me.
The Lakers?
Yeah, I gotta go with the Lakers, man.
So I had one guy sitting there telling me, or maybe I seen it online. They're like, "Oh man, they always got to give LeBron an easy pass to the championship." And so I'm like, dude, do you realize if he wasn't on that team, it'd just be like Anthony Davis and the Pelicans all over
I was
again.
about to say the same thing. And Anthony Davis, man.
They can't. It's like me and you grew up. Me and you got to watch Michael Jordan play. We old enough.
Yep.
But at the same time, we old enough to acknowledge that when you got somebody good, like great, like LeBron James is, like 9 times. What, he went to the finals, 9 times in a row?
Yeah.
When have you ever seen that? Like in our lifetime.
No.
And it's like every team that he leaves and he goes back to, they're like, well, he had role players and things like that. I'm like, what person have you seen in the history of the NBA not have somebody?
I was gonna say, I mean, you look at Steph Curry and his circle, and I mean, a lot of folks, man, they have that supporting cast. I mean, they need that, of course. I mean, but I definitely would say LeBron, especially this year, unfortunately losing Kobe, man, he had a heavy influence, man, on kind of their drive right now on trying to win this thing. So man, 2020 has been
it's been a year.
It's been something, bro, that's going to be written down in the in history, to where when we get like
90.
Yeah, 80. Right. We're going to tell our kids, like, let me tell you about the year of COVID. This is what happened.
It's going to be like, I thought it's crazy that you say it, because I thought about that today. I'm just like, when I turn 85, how do I explain that when technology is like advanced enough to where they're like, yo, y'all went through something like that? They're going to be like great grandkids. I'm like, what? Like that was the thing. It's almost like, and I can say, like, I want to almost staple it, like 20 years from now, when we got autonomous cars and our kids are older and they in them, they like, yo, y'all used to drive cars that y'all had to actually drive, and they're gonna be like, yo, that was so dangerous.
That's a funny way to look at it. Yeah, no, that's true. They're
gonna be like, that was so dangerous for y'all to do that. Like, y'all like living like cavemen, and cavemen lived thousands of years before we did.
Man, they're gonna look. Yep. I mean, it's definitely, this year is gonna be one to remember, man. I mean, man.
Yeah, it's just having that perseverance, just staying true to who you are,
dude,
and just doing your thing, like we talked about earlier. It's we definitely got a story. We got a serious story to tell. Hopefully it'll and we got pictures and photos, dude. That's the good thing about social media.
Exactly.
Unless all the servers in the world get burnt up or something like that.
Let's hope that don't happen. Or Trump tries to shut down little apps like TikTok. Out of anything you could be worried about right now, you got folks talking about TikTok needs to be shut down, knowing darn well that the government's all over our, phones, right? They don't need TikTok to be worried about, a security breach, man. It's just like, dude, they tap into our phones like it ain't nothing. You get to literally. We can talk about laundry detergent right now. Guarantee you, when you get home, you have ads on your phone talking about laundry detergent.
Due to the algorithms of what's a human created.
Yeah.
To basically listen to what you talking about, just capture it, and then all those algorithms that you talking about go back to a database.
Yes.
So the database collects all that information, dude. And it's just like, it's crazy, man.
A lot of people don't think about that, man. A lot. I mean, dude, they have, and it's the scary part, man. Like, it ain't a conspiracy, man. It's real life. They have a location wherever, I don't know where it's at, but I mean, stuff full of information about you, about I. Probably
individually.
It probably knows more about ourselves than what we do. I'm telling you, man, it's wicked, dude. You got to look this thing up, man. But like, literally, they are all our information, man. Right? Social media, bank account. I mean, bank account, I don't know, but there's literally a database about ourselves, man, that's inside of some location to where, I mean, dude, I'm telling you, it's real stuff, man. It's real stuff.
Well, that's like the seed bank they got. It's like past a certain time, I'm not gonna like stamp it or whatever, but it's like there were multiple thousands of types of apples that existed. Yeah. And that terminology, an apple a day keep the doctor away. Yeah. Ain't said for nothing. Like, and so there's thousands of apples that they got seeds for that are just like stored away. Yeah. You think, because people just go in a grocery store and that's like just a selection right there, right? Right. But you got more people that think like you go to different countries and you'll see different types. Right. But there's thousands and thousands and thousands. It's like a golden apple. Yeah. That's like very like nutritious and things like that. Yep. Extinct, then wipe the genome off the earth. But got the seeds banked up in this like huge library of like seeds and just different things and DNA and stuff like that.
I believe it.
So I'm just like, man, it is just crazy. And people don't think about these things. No, but
not at all, man.
You just got to do some research, dive into it.
People closed-minded, man. Yeah. If they don't fit around, kind of what they know, they're not willing to accept, the things that's outside of their understanding, man. Yeah. So they got to really branch out, like you said, and study, learn, expand your mind on this knowledge, man.
Yeah. Yep. So you got any more alien stuff?
Let's see. I mean, definitely.
No, be cautious about too much information you put out there.
If I come up missing, man, look, y'all know what's up. Nah, but I mean, me and my brother, like a younger brother, man, man. I mean, at the house where we were staying, I mean, nice big open sky, and we used to climb up on the roof, sit down on the roof, man, chill, relax, looking up. There goes this little dot. All the stars in the background, but this little dot scooting across the sky, stops, continues to go. I'm just like, okay. Yeah. Like, when I tell you, man, like these things that we've seen, some people can possibly explain it away, but I tell you, man, until you encounter it yourself, you're going to be like, something's up to this. Something's up, especially as many times, like I said, like with all the people who you talk to who actually experience this type of thing as well. It's like they know something else is going on in this world, man. And you want to talk about like, visitation, whatever these things, like the video we was talking about. Yeah. Right. I mean, this guy is a high level, pilot, Navy SEAL. Yeah. Flying a F-18 fighter jet. I mean, what does he have to lie about?
It was so serious that the government had to release that. We don't know what that was. Yeah. But it's real.
If you go all the way back now, I'm trying to Project Bluebeam. okay, was a organized thing that the military put together to investigate all of these sightings. Now, this was back in, like, say, the 40s, 50s, and all the sightings that they were finding. They put together this thing to where, okay, you guys investigate it, and we'll see what we come up with. After all these thousands and thousands of people who've reported seeing similar things that I've talked about, right now, other stuff that's been also seen, they only came up with, okay, documents done. There's no such thing as UFOs. It's just these are weather balloons. It's just like, what? Yeah. Discount everybody else's experience and just say, all right, yep, there's weather balloons. Don't worry about it. No alarm here. But now in 2020, now this ain't just me. I'm not a conspiracy theorist. I don't call myself to be one. I say I'm a conspiracy realist. Right? So now all of a sudden, after all these, 60, 70 years later, mm-hmm. from Roswell, New Mexico, and if we have more time, we can dive into that. But now in 2020, the Pentagon, mm-hmm. right? The Pentagon officially releases that they don't call it UFO. This is what we talk about, UAP, Unidentified Aerial Phenomena, and says that they're going to put together a new task force to investigate this thing. Yeah. And they released 2 or 3 videos. Yeah. And one of them is the video that we talked about with this pilot who was, flying this thing and experienced this large, he called it a 40-foot tic tac. Yeah,
40-foot tic tac. Yeah.
And hearing that originally is like, what? A 40-foot tic? Like, how do you know the size? And he breaks it down. And in that video we saw. Yeah. And but the government released this officially saying that these are real. We're not calling them UFOs. We're not calling them aliens, but this is something that we don't know exactly
what it is. Yeah.
They know. Oh
yeah, man.
They know.
They got to know.
They definitely know, man. And it's just out of any time to release this, out of all the years of silence of calling it weather balloons, calling it, everything, a blimp or whatever else they want to call it. Now in 2020, they're finally acknowledging it. And I just think it's unique, man. I think it's unique.
Because it's almost like you can't hide it no more.
No. It's so many people, right? We got these cell phones, man, to where I wish that night when I saw it, I had my phone, right? How convenient. My battery's dead. I can't record what I saw in the sky. I'm just like,
so now you are crazy.
Now I'm just one of the crazy ones, man.
Yeah. That's how they're going to label it,
But
man.
dude, if you look online, now I know a lot of stuff on YouTube and things are like crazy and people, edit a lot of stuff and make things, a little wacky. But I'm telling you, there are so much footage out there of people, even in just your commercial flights, in airplanes, capturing things that they can't explain. The pilots of airplanes themselves communicate, like audio release of people saying, hey, we got this on the radar. What is this? Do you guys see it? And,
can't explain it.
Dude,
yeah. Dang, man. That is just crazy because it's like, I believe in it. I see so many stories and it's like, not unbelievable enough for me not to think that that is real. Yeah. So it's gonna be, we're gonna get doubters from this.
Oh, absolutely, man.
But it's just you stick to your guns, man. And,
Oh no, trust me, man. Like I know what I saw. I mean, it's my story. I'm sticking to it.
Yeah.
But honestly though, man. I mean, I'm not saying because like I want anybody to say, oh man, I can't believe Chad is. Nah, trust me, I don't want none of that. But I will say this stuff exists, man. And guarantee you, those who are watching, those who are listening, ask somebody within your circle if they ever experienced something like this before. Yeah. Guarantee you'll find at least the one. Yeah. And see if that one really will have something to lie to you about.
And people won't talk about it. And it's like, you look up the history of ancient civilizations, how they write on these scraps, how they draw these different things out. They drawn out things that we see today. How did they know about it back then? Because it was like one thing. It was like the Mayans or something like that.
Ancient Mayan civilization.
How in the world did they know there were 9 planets up there? No telescopes.
Yeah.
No nothing. And it had every single planet represented in the size that it is to this day. And for some reason, Galileo and them just found this out not too long ago. But these people got it written down. You got the sun. You got even Pluto on there. On like some like written out, drawn out thing.
Yeah.
So I'm like,
yo, it's crazy you say that because, right, all these ancient civilizations that they have no way to communicate to one another.
Yeah.
From this region of the world, this region of the world, this region. All of a sudden, when you go and investigate, you know, archaeologists, people who go out into these places and learn their culture, all of a sudden find every one of these things have a connection.
Mm-hmm.
All of a sudden, these images and things that they draw, clay tablets or whatever else, all of a sudden, these sky people or whatever they want to, all of a sudden, these things, you put them all side by side, it's like,
they got connections.
Wait a minute.
Straight down the line.
I'm telling you, man, yeah.
Yeah. So,
crazy.
Man, we can't give the people too much.
Yeah,
we close on that.
Yeah, we can close on that.
Yeah,
and, you know, just be ready for the next time, man.
Yeah, man, you're gonna be like a promising, fulfilling guest to these people. People want to hear your story.
Yeah.
People want to just hear everything that people can really have like a connection with, have like an intellectual conversation with, man. Yep. And you know what? I appreciate it to the most that you took time out your day to come here and just like have a good conversation with me, man.
Yeah, but hey, been looking forward to it, man. We've been talking about it all summer.
Yeah.
Saying we got to connect. Hey, man, we finally did it.
We just ain't done a fishing trip yet.
Oh, man. Hey, this is almost a fall season. Fishing get good around this time.
Oh, yeah.
So, hey, man, I'm still down for it, man. I'm always looking to fish. So let me know.
Yeah, I appreciate it, man. I
appreciate you as well, brother.
Oh, yeah. Peace out, people.
Peace. All right.